See, Tristan had met Jeremy earlier. He was an ex-soldier. He was a good fighter, nice guy. Studied archaeology, loved the history, and he loved the Mayans and the pyramids and the stuff as I did. And we got around pretty good. We seen most of the country actually within the first 3 or 4 weeks. We learned a lot. We found bodies on the sides of the roads. You can't go through the checkpoints. You got to be very careful. Guatemalans don't get along with Belize that much. They steal their leaves. I thought they were kidding. They actually steal their leaves. And so we went there on a trip, and we were looking for gold. And we found that there's gold there. And so we tried to get some new equipment in down to the spot where the old man had found this gold. And he was a character. This guy was crazy. Definitely crazy. He lived in the jungle off and on. Had fell. Jeep crashed a few times, rolled down the hills, came up, beat up, dead, crawled in and out of the jungle many times, but was always seduced back for the gold. So they had gotten me and picked me up to make sure some of the equipment got down there and that I could protect and pretty much entertain my friend as we went. But I went purely for the trip because I know I would love it. It was hot. It was summertime. It's 110, 120. I met the Orchid Lady, beautiful woman. What a lady I met down there. Learned so much from her. That'll be another thing. But Jeremy, actually, after a certain amount of time, we found some things, and we found some things where we weren't supposed to be, and we were warned quite a couple times not to go back there. And so I understood there was plenty of stuff we didn't have to go there, but Jeremy had to go because they told him he couldn't, and he went back and stole something. So they stopped us in the woods, and I knew that something happened. And I said, "What? What's a problem?" I didn't do anything wrong. I stayed out of that area where I wasn't supposed to be. And this tribe, they were looking at me like, you know, I'm full of shit. Like, fuck you. So immediately I looked at Jeremy, and I said, "What did you take? What the fuck did you do?" And he had went back there. I knew it. So I ran over and grabbed, which I started ripping through his bags while they held him. And I found it. It wasn't even ruby. It wasn't an emerald. It just was one of their statues that they wanted there. Might have been jade or a little bit, but it was nothing of value to us. Just for the adventure, and they told me he couldn't get there. So as they were struggling, they didn't even mean to, but he had fell on one of the spears, fell back, and it came through his stomach and out his chest. So it punctured almost both lungs. It was a freak accident, and we were so far away from any type of help. So Tristan tried to help him and bandage him up, and the Indians tried, the girls, and even though they were mad, a few stayed back and tried to help for Tristan's sake. But they had been at the top of a mountain at this point, on a little trail, probably, you know, almost 10,000 feet up. It was pretty high. They were way up on the trails, and we were on the edge of a cliff. And he started to garble, and he was doing his last few words, so he screamed to stop. We were trying to drag him back down the hill, and he just looked at me, and I knew he wasn't going to make it. But he wanted me to prop him up so he could just jump off the cliff. He always wanted to do it. He said if he died, this is how he wanted to die. We used to kid around her. Actually, we were almost friends at a point. I mean, he was a great guy. He saved my ass a few times, as I did him. But we had some great adventures, and up to that point, it was unbelievable. But he was dying. The spear had cut into, like I said, through both lungs. He fell through it, and it came on an angle this way from his back. So he had lost so much blood, he wasn't going to make it. So he took himself out and dove in front of the Indians, and he just walked away. I mean, that was his penance. He got, you know, he bought it. So they told him to stay away, and that's the way he wanted to go out. So I did help him assist. Basically, Told the Indians, to help him up, prop him up, and he could have tried to come with us, but I don't think he would have made it very far at all. Maybe another 100 feet. He had one breath left, and he used it. It was a bad time, but it was curing because they let me go, which they didn't have to.